Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest edition of AmiSights. I'm Ami Katz, your host, along with my co-host, Lynn Ozer, aka SBA Queen. And today we have Morgan Katz, aka Tickets Queen.
There you go. Good morning.
Good
Morgan
morning.
Katz is an EO member, a brilliant company called Ticketnology, and we're excited to have you on the show, learn all about you and your vision and your mission and your journey and all that good stuff. Morgan, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here and chat with you guys today.
Oh, Morgan, we want to hear all about your entrepreneurial journey. So tell me first, when did that bug hit you?
So I think I've always had a little bit of it. My entire family is full of entrepreneurs, mostly lifestyle businesses, which is just a different element of growing and scaling a business, being an entrepreneur. But even when I worked in corporate, I worked in very entrepreneur-friendly settings. And so I've always been that trailblazer, kind of on my own, raise my hand, no problem, no question. I won't ask. Sometimes called a truth teller, good or bad.
Yeah.
But once I was able to really own my journey and this business, that's when we've been able to do some really cool things, continue to grow and make a difference.
That's great. So when did you do this? Like, tell us that.
Yeah.
You went to school for what? And then, okay.
Sure. So I went to school for sports management. So I've always worked in entertainment, sports, ticketing, always been in live events. The joke is I've always had a job with a walkie-talkie. And so it's just part of who I am and how my brain works, like to see the event and the operation side of things. So long career in that between venues, ticketing, baseball, all the things. And then in 2019, I started this venture, but we were a very different venture than who we are today. So as every good entrepreneur story happens, I got fired from my job and I needed a job. And so I stayed in the industry that I knew and loved. And I was a corporate ticket broker. So I would work with individuals and companies managing their tickets on a one-to-one consulting basis. Well, then COVID happened in 2020 and there were no events. There were no tickets to manage. So during that very long intermission, it was, what am I going to do to be relevant to come out? And that's when we transformed to a technology company. And so in late 2020, we started building software. We re-rolled out in April of 21 as a software company, a ticket management platform. And we've been on that journey since April of 21.
So you hired people to create this ticket platform?
Correct. I am not a coder.
Because you are not a coder. So you needed
I am not this. I should not touch things that can break. But what I can do and what I do bring to the table is that customer journey. I will tell you where this button needs to go. I will walk you through an experience that the customer needs to feel and see to want the value that we provide. And so I can put all of that together and ready for them and then have someone do the actual coding on the back end.
So you're the user experience.
Correct.
And then so where did you find coders, or were they just people that were in your life, in your other business, or where?
So I started as everyone, online trying to find someone. I went overseas, found someone that I could work with and communicate with, again, not being a coder. And then he decided he wanted to take the next 6 months off after we were like 2 months in the project. I was like, I kind of can't do that.
Morgan, let's talk. Let's go back a minute. Let's go back to that feeling of you lose your corporate job.
Yeah. Oh, Ami knows this story.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to decide to go on your own, or what was that feeling? What was that decision process like?
Yeah, for sure. It was tough. It was really rough. I had been there almost 9 years. And like I said, it was a very entrepreneur friendly company. And then it got very, very paperwork oriented, which is not my set. Right. And it was not my strong skill. And so it was really like it was a turning point for me of, I'm either going to redefine myself and start all over in a business and a career and get out of this space, or I'm going to go all in and stay where I am because I feel I still have the passion and want to do it and all of that. But so that's what I did. But understanding what I was then going to do was a whole different game, right? That took months to a year to figure out like how I can build a company, how I could do anything that people would still want a service or, pay for products and all of that. So It was a long emotional road, lots of whiteboarding, lots of kind of like all the feelings at once, all the stages from anger to grief to just everything in between.
So
what did you think about taking that risk? Did that excite you? Did that scare you? How did you feel financially about it all?
Yeah, it was a big scare financially, just from what I had been comfortably making for many, many years, and where we were in our life, my husband and I at the time. And so it was a big jump, but it was never scary to do it. It was just making the decision. I'm a little bit of a risk taker, and I can also calculate the risk internally. If it's a calculated risk that I can understand and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, that doesn't scare me. And so it was a process that I was okay with doing. The exact opposite. My husband is the captain of compliance for a fire department. And so he is the opposite of a risk taker. And so there was a lot of conversations, maybe a couple checklists made during that process as a unit.
Oh, wow.
I think that's always a fascinating topic. And what problem, as you started to build this thing, what problem were you trying to solve for?
Yeah, I just knew that there had to be a better end user experience for the season ticket buyer, but I didn't know what that was at the time. I knew that 47% of corporate tickets go unused as a national average. I knew that the person who buys the tickets is not the one executing, and there's this lack of communication. I knew all these facts, but I didn't know how to bundle that, right? Or to make that into something that people would want to talk to me about. So it was a lot of trial and error of like, well, what if we did this? Or if we created that, and everything was very different. But the goal was to change the game for season ticket holders, which is still our goal. It's just the path has varied.
What year was this again? Sorry, I missed it.
2019, and then we did software late 2020 and re-rolled out as a software company in April of 21.
Wow.
So did your whole client base change? Because now you're not,
Yeah, I mean, I still had some people who knew me from being with them for so long in my past roles, and a good network from just networking here in the Dallas community. But we're a national company, so like I don't have contacts in every city. So it's rebuilding and rebranding to myself, and how we want to network and connect has been very different.
So your clients now are ticket brokers?
No, so our clients are companies that have bought season tickets. So we're like an aftermarket product they want to add on. So a law firm, an auto dealership, a construction company buys tickets to use for their business development, their employee engagement, whatever. And then now we come in and help them actually connect the dots so that they're successful with whatever the goals were that they bought those tickets for. And so we have a software product, we have some concierge service on the account management side that our expertise is available to people. So there's a variety of things that we can help with.
So interesting. It's such a niche, it seems to me, that
it is.
So
did you start in Dallas, or where did it start?
Yeah, so started in Dallas. We work nationwide, though. We're about 13 markets, pretty established. Lots of opportunities still there, too. And so a lot of it's word of mouth, kind of growing. We figured out the last year or so where we need to live in certain industries. And so going to different national events there, and that's helped spread the word.
So how many tickets? Go ahead. Sorry, Lynn.
I was just saying, how many people work for you?
So I have 4 employees that are a mix of part-time and full-time.
Got it.
So say I have 4 season tickets every other Sunday for the Phillies. Is that enough for it to matter for you, or is that a small account for you?
No, it is. Most of our clients have to start kind of about 4 tickets, and we go up to, we've got a couple companies that have 3 or 4 regional offices, and we manage across those offices. Who we don't talk to are the enterprise companies. There's other products out there that are better suited for them. We really specialize in the small to medium businesses, or that entrepreneur that owns the business but also owns tickets. We do cross over into that a lot because they want to use them for personal and for business use, and they need some help distinguishing and breaking those things out. So we can help with full management, meaning distribution, reservations, know before you go emails, to, hey, I just need these tickets sent over here, or we're actually not going to use these for the next 2 or 3 games. Can you find a buyer for me? And we'll do a buying and selling opportunity for them. So we do a little bit of everything, as long as the goal is to make sure that that season ticket holder is able to maximize their tickets. We have a solution that can help.
It's interesting. Really interesting.
And what's your strongest markets today?
So Dallas being based here, we have a lot here in Dallas. We actually have a lot in Albuquerque, which is a unique one, I feel like. Philadelphia is a good market for us as well.
Yeah.
And then we're currently growing in Miami and the Charlotte market.
Are you staying out of New York for any specific reason?
We're not. There's so many ticket brokers in New York that offer great concierge type service that sometimes we get in a, just not a muddy line, but they have a connection already that'll do something. So it's just not maybe as available as some other markets.
Would a ticket broker buy your software?
They do, yes. So a ticket broker will buy, and then we also partner with them on the buying and selling side too.
Yeah,
So we're competitors, but we're also partners with each other, which is very unique in our industry, but very common in our industry.
Love that. That's very
What
interesting.
is your biggest challenge, Morgan, today?
Yeah, so there's no director of season tickets at a company, right? There's nobody with that job title. So we live in a lot of different roles, departments. Sometimes we have to cross-sell into multiple departments. So it's finding that right person that can pull the trigger on it. We have incredible renewal rates with our clients. We make a difference in year 1, and so we become a revenue source for them versus an expense. But it's finding that right person at a company to have the conversation with. Once we find that person, it's a very easy conversation. Do you have tickets? Yes or no? And if it's a no, it's, hey, have a great day, right? It's very clear, dry, but it's finding that right person that slows down our sales process.
How are you trying to do that?
So we spent a lot of time the last year on our ICP, and really we know by
Hold on,
industries.
ICP.
Oh, ideal customer profile. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
We know by industries where we need to sit. We know who we need to talk to in law firms, and it's a different person, a different job title than in construction, but it's similar to automotive. So we've created in these industries that we spend a lot of time in, very specific communication, plan, process, and all that to find that right person, which has started to speed up some of our sales.
How do you go about selling and doing that? What's your process? Do you have a sales force? What is it?
It's me. So people, we're still at the founder of sales, which is great. I actually enjoy it. It's my background. But we do have an automated process of the beginning and the end, right? So that allows me to still do the CEO functionality and other things versus just maybe all the prospecting. We actually, again, changing the game is our mission here. So we do things a little different. We don't do cold emails. What we do is we actually mail things to people. Our clients are in the office pretty much in most places, even if it's just a hybrid, but they're in the office. So we have a system where we send them a package. It's then followed up by an email asking if they got it. It's then followed up by a different call or communication based on their reaction. And that works really well for us. People don't get packages a lot in the mail. And so for us, it's a little bit of goodies, a little bit of information to share our brand. And we actually get great response. Again, even if it's that no, but people are like, hey, I really appreciate this clever idea, or thanks for reaching out. And it's been a game changer for us.
It's fascinating. And that's a really good idea. I mean, different. It used to be you wouldn't do mail, and now it is. When you get something in the mail,
we're not a business for cold email. Like, it just, people don't understand what season ticket management is. Not a ranking keyword in Google. People aren't looking for it. They don't understand it in a subject line. But when they see it and they can literally hold something like a squishy ball, a basketball that's a stress ball that has our logo on it and a little bit of information, then the wheels start to turn.
Would a sports team ever partner with you to offer it to their members?
They would. Yeah. That's some of what our competitors do. They go in on the sponsorship way through a team, and we'll do it that way. So they hold a lot of that market. Not to say there's not opportunity for us, but that is what one of our main competitors does.
It's really interesting.
So let's say Uncle Joe comes in today and says, Morgan, I'm going to deposit $250,000 into your bank account.
Let's go.
And you have to invest it in your business in the next 6 months in things that you're not doing today. And if you don't spend it, I'm taking it back.
Okay.
What are you going to do with the money?
Yeah, so we would definitely continue to build out our development team. We've got a line of products that we want to build to continue to service our customers better. So that's step one. We price on products and features. So the more opportunity we can continue to grow that side, the more opportunity we can service our clients and also be the right fit at the right price for what they need and what we need to be successful. The second part of that is we need to continue to build our team, right? I can't sell forever as we continue to grow. And so bringing in people, but have the effective training, tools, technology, computers, like all those things that come with it on the operations side, that would be a big chunk of it as well. And then the third one is we have some big ideas that we want to do in our marketing that cost money. And so that would continue to fund that roadmap, that marketing map, so that we can do some big things, some cool things that we're working on in pieces this year. But man, we would be able to do some rocket fuel behind it.
And if
We'll
you
send
did
Uncle Joe right over.
but if you did those things, how much bigger or are you profitable today?
We're slightly profitable. Being a startup's no joke, right? But we technically, yes, won the profit game last year. So our goal is to continue our profit growth. And that's part of kind of figuring out our product pricing these last years, our ICPs, where we need to, all that stuff, right? So we have big goals this year. We'd like to double again our top line revenue, which then obviously increases our profit. And then we have
Not necessarily.
Let's take
you're
that
right.
statement
You're
back.
totally right.
Take that
In
statement back.
our math, it does for what we're pricing. Yes, you're totally right though. So we count numbers of tickets managed. That's how our team has goals and everything like that. So if we're able to continue on those paths, we'll grow. We'll also grow our profit.
Great. Yeah.
And do you have any debt today?
We do have some debt. So we took an EIDL loan back when they were available. And then we have a line of credit that we currently have a draw on, but we don't have anything else outside of that.
That's great.
So
Yeah.
What's your goal for 3 years from now?
we'll be at 10 million in revenue is our 2027 goal. So we got some work to do, but we're going to push on to get there. And then, so one of the marketing pieces I mentioned, we do an event every year called Pro Panel, which is where we bring in a pro to speak to our clients. And our goal in 3 years is to have Charles Barkley speak at that event. But I got to have some money to pay for that.
Another
What
reason.
investments? So what do you see a clear? Is that $10 million an aspirational goal, or do you see a clear path to get there?
No, we have a pretty clear path. We've spent some time in the data. We've kind of dug in a lot the last year, and we know we get real sticky with our clients. They stay with us. We know how many clients we need to add a year based on their product type and what they're buying. So there's a path there. It's a big lift, don't get me wrong, but there is a path there.
Do you think if you made those $250,000 of investments, and I just kind of picked that as a round number, do you think it would increase your chances of got there or exceeding that goal?
Yeah. We're educating a lot of things on ticket management, right? Like we're, again, not a ranking keyword. It takes people to understand what you do. There's just 2 or 3 questions about the top line of the product and the service. And so that money can fuel that to go faster, bigger, and spread wider, because this is, while it's a unique niche, it's a big playing field. There's 4 million season ticket holders that are small to medium businesses in the US roughly. So it's a big playing field. So it's a lot of things you got to get out to people.
So why aren't you getting the money and doing that?
We've considered it. We've looked at going to funding the next steps and or a friends and family round. We've kind of gotten to where we've gone growth wise to now, and now it's time to start looking at the next steps.
We see that
Well,
sometimes.
Ami was asking about your risk profile before, and you seem to be not adverse to risk taking and seem to have a really definite plan, which is awesome. So I'm just curious, does debt bother you?
No.
Just curious. Oh, okay.
No.
Does it bother your husband?
Yes.
Yeah, bothers your husband, right? Yeah, I know, it's
Significantly.
interesting.
I
There
just
are
think
some
it's
entrepreneurs that are so they take risks
Yeah.
in a lot of things, but not money. And I always
Yeah.
find that interesting. There's a definite line between debt and that kind of risk as opposed to other risks.
Yeah. So I have a goal to grow this to a certain point with a debt element, right? No other partners on the table, a clean cap table, all that. Like
Right.
whether that happens or not, I don't know, but I'm not afraid of growing that way.
Yeah, I
it is
understand.
interesting, and it's one of the areas I want to study, and I'm sure there probably is some research about it. But female entrepreneurs that are married often have a tougher time, which is sad, going into the debt markets and getting debt because for whatever the bias is.
Interesting.
And a lot of the times we see husbands just saying no. Now, in Texas, you have an advantage because of the homestead laws. They cannot put a lien on your house, which they could do in 48 other states. But it is definitely a theme we hear around risk, where the female founder entrepreneurs fighting their husband about debt. I'm not saying this show is not about pushing people into debt. It's just kind of
Not at all.
Not at all. Just this particular conversation kind of went this way.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, there's a couple of things that are interesting. One is that people often take on debt in the early times because they're just so naive, or they just need to. That's really when the high risk is. Actually, when you've kind of figured out your model, that's the time to throw the fuel in the fire and try to really accelerate it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is often people sell to PE and sell a big chunk to PE who's just going to put a hell of a lot of debt on the company anyway. So,
right. Yeah. I mean, we'll eventually get to the path of sale, but we're not. I got some things to do first before we
sound like you have
conversations.
Things to do.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very interesting. The curated conversation I direct on the debt side with my husband, right? We have to have very conversations. Luckily, super supportive, has gone down this road, sometimes begrudgingly, but still continues down the road, right? And so lucky that it's never a don't do it. It's tell me more information to help me understand to get there with you.
Yeah, it's all interesting. It's an interesting topic. It might be interesting for you and your husband. I don't know if you've ever read my book, The Growth Dilemma.
I don't think so, actually.
And in it, there's like this risk profile test. And we're actually doing a lot of work now to come up with a whole new work into those whole risk profiles. But it might be interesting for you and your husband to both read the book and then talk about it.
Yeah, I did, because I did your risk profile at an eccentric conference once.
Correct.
Yeah, but he should definitely do it.
Yeah, actually, we'll send you guys 2 books so you can read them and then have a chat. So, not to make you think I'm trying to sell you a book on my podcast. I promise you
no, he's handing them out for
the
I
dollar.
love it. Thank you.
The $1.06 royalty I make for every book cover. It's okay.
Doesn't even cover the shipping.
No, but it's just an interesting dilemma and part of growth. But I think, the thing that is so fascinating is how many entrepreneurs will take that risk in the beginning when they really don't know whether it's a go or not. And then because of whatever trials, tribulations, or debt they've had in the past, they do get nervous when they can really fuel with debt. But it's just an interesting topic. I think your
Absolutely.
business is fascinating, and I think there's like lots of you must do all sorts of other kind of is it all season ticket holders that then get concert tickets and do that, or is it all separate? I mean, because those venues have concerts too. I don't mean to be jumping back, but
Yeah,
it's
no, you're great. Yeah, we do
interesting.
everything. Broadway, festivals,
Oh,
concerts,
yeah,
sports,
yeah.
big one-offs, Wimbledon, Super Bowl.
Oh, really?
Right. So even when Messi started playing soccer here in the US, right, for Miami, right? And so then the first round of him going to different markets, what will happen is you might have tickets to the baseball team or the football team, but you want to go to these one-off events. And so then
Right.
we become that contact and help them resource and find what they need to do, whether it's through other clients that aren't using tickets, ticket broker partners, and so much more. So yeah, we
Do
do a
that
little bit of
mostly in the
everything.
Dallas area, or do you do that everywhere?
We do it everywhere.
Mhm. So I'll tell you a little secret, Lynn. When we went to Dallas for the Eagles Cowboys game, that would have been better to skip.
Yes, it would have. Yeah.
Morgan and her team helped us get incredible tickets. And,
Oh, did they? How
yeah.
about that?
And
Yeah.
my only beef with her, which is not her fault, is that she included as a benefit these incredible passes to go down to the field at the end of the game. Except the Cowboys were killing the Eagles so badly that I wanted to get out of there, like in the second, like third quarter,
Whoops.
and beat the traffic.
Oh my God,
And
that's hysterical.
No good
my
deed goes unpunished.
and my kids were like, "No,
Right,
Dad, we're
Morgan.
waiting to the end of the game," and then it cost like $250 in an Uber to get back to Dallas. But
The Uber
all
is
good, Morgan. I
outrageous.
still love you. Don't worry.
The Uber situation at AT&T, we hear constant from people. So
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it's
crazy.
crazy.
That's a great story though. Yeah.
It's
But
all good.
yeah, Morgan, your story's great. I love
thanks.
your passion, and it's very exciting and contagious. So
Thank
I
you. I
wish
appreciate
you
Morgan,
that.
are you an EO or EOA?
So I graduated from EOA into EO.
Love it. Have you joined a forum yet?
No, not yet. We're gonna once the new year starts for EO in July, there's kind of holding, gathering people.
Awesome. So I
How did
love
you
it.
find out about EO?
I found out I was in another accelerator group, an online program, and
Mhm.
that program brought in a bunch of mentors, and most of them were actually EO members, which was kind of funny. So I started working with one in the Florida chapter just through that other group. And then we started talking that group wasn't working for me. And so I was looking for something different. And so I joined EOA in December of 2021. I graduated in December of 23. And then I actually am going to be on the EO Dallas board this upcoming July for the accelerator chair.
That's
So
great.
my friend Daniela is going to be the president next year.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Yes, Danielle's fantastic.
She's amazing. So
Wonderful.
Morgan, what can we do to help you?
Oh, thanks for asking. Anyone that you know that has season tickets that goes to a lot of events, we'd love to have a conversation, be a resource for them. Sometimes we're not always the perfect fit right then, but it's good for people to know about us. We work a lot off referrals and word of mouth. And so just sharing the Ticketnology journey is much appreciated.
And if somebody wants to find you, where do they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So ticketnology.com. My email is Morgan@Ticketnology. And then I'm also very active on LinkedIn, Morgan Katz. And I even have a little ticket on my name just to clarify what I do.
There are a couple of people in our Philly chapter who are like, I mean, Philly's a sports nuts town,
Yeah.
who are active ticket season holders for a bunch of different things. So we'll be sure to get this podcast out on our WhatsApp channels and make sure they're listening.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
And Ticketnology is one word, right?
Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Morgan, you're the best. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Wonderful to meet you.
This was super fun. Thanks, guys. I had a lot of fun with y'all.
I had a fun time as well. Okay.
Talk to you soon. Take
Have a
care.
great
Bye-bye.
Thank you.